In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this from start to finish. When you see a 10 seconds animation like this, your first thought is to assume that I spent at least a couple days working on it. But no, I did this in less than an hour because I didn't do it the hard way. I did it the lazy way. If I go into Blender, this is a new project file. If I drag this up and separate it horizontally to have two panels here and change this from 3D viewport to asset browser, you would see that I have some thumbnails here, and all these are different animations that I could just drag and drop. Now this is our product. Let's start with the jump in shots. Instead of me thinking about how to animate a shot of my product jumping into the scene, I just need to drag and drop the template here. It's literally right here. So let's go to jump in handmade and just drop it here. Now we have a product here and it's easy to customize. I'm just going to show you right now. You see, we already have it right here. All we have to do is to align our actual product with this. So you can see this is my actual product here. Let's just bring it over here. Make sure they are aligned. The actual shape of the product is not what is important. What is important is that the edge of this product, look here, this is where our origin is. The most important thing is to align this origin because this is the point where the product lands. This is the first contact on the floor. So it has to be accurate to your actual product. So if it's a cube, make sure the edge that you want to land aligns with this origin right here. So let's just align our product real quick. And it doesn't have to be the same size. It could be smaller. It could be bigger. Let's make it bigger. Just make sure it's aligned. Then parent this one to the template. So let's go to wireframe view. Make sure your real product is selected. Then shift select the template product. Then Ctrl P to parent it. And that's pretty much it. That is literally it. Now your product is jumping in. This is crazy to me, as an animator that has done things like this over the years and seeing that you could just do this really quickly. Now you could just make the template product invisible. Just come here. It's actually invisible in the render, but you can just turn it off in the viewport. So we already have the first part of our shot. This is called the Lazy Motion Library. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to get a sweet deal for this library. Now, when you get the Lazy Motion Library, it's very easy to install. Just go to Edit, Preferences, and File Paths. So just hit the plus sign, then go find the library on your PC. Now you have to extract it first. It's a compressed file, and keep the folder somewhere nice on your PC that you can find it easily. Then just go find it here. And then whenever you go to your asset browser, you would see all this template here. So what we can do is to duplicate this thing. This is like the controller, is an empty that controls this entire thing. Let's find it here. Double click this to select everything inside. Then Shift D, X, and move it over here. Now we'll have two products that are jumping in. So we can click on the template product, A to select all the keyframes and just move it down. Just move it down by say 5 frames, yeah. So the first one starts at frame 1 and the second one starts at frame 5. So there is an offset. Yeah, we already have that. We're already moving so fast. It's crazy to me. So let me move this forward a bit. Let me offset it to the side a bit. Your creativity is limitless. Mess with this however you want. You could drag a separate animation. So let's take this slide in handmade. Yeah, so this is a product sliding in. So let's just align this to the rest of it. Let's go to the top view. Click on the empty, bring it over here. Yeah, let's scale it up a bit. So it's roughly the same size. This really doesn't matter, but make sure it's roughly the same size. Yeah, bring it where you need it to be. So around here. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's sliding in from the wrong angle. So let's go to top view, R -90, and bring it over here. We want it to land around here. So this offset is a personal choice. You could line them up however you want. This is how I decided to do my. So now that we have this, let's just replace this with the product. Take all the keyframes using A and bring it to around 10. Yeah. Yeah, this is what we want. Cool. Now the same thing we did, just replace this one with your product. So Shift D, bring it over here. From the top, bring it over here. The key here, as we said before, is to make sure your product aligns with this origin point here. Raise your product up so it aligns Then make sure your product is selected. Then make sure you shift select the second product, the template product next. Control P, parent, keep transform. Cool. Now you have your product doing it, so we could turn this one off. So just come here and just turn off everything here, yeah, including this guy. So now what do we have? You see? Let's just mess with this offset so it looks right. Let's take this and bring it on the x-axis a bit. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Good. Now let's add a camera real quick. Ctrl-Alt-0 to set the camera. Let's make this 100. Let's bring this here, move it forward. We want it to just pop into the shot. So let me add a plane S20 to make it huge, RX90, and move this back. Let's make this plane a dark black color, like I used in the video. Let's make it a little bit reflective. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Back to the camera view, let's move this to the side, yeah. Click on the camera, come to viewport display, increase this to 1 so you can see just what's in the camera. And you see, we already have our animation. You could move the camera however you want. This is a creative choice. Okay, we need a floor, so let's bring this to the origin. Bring this over here. In edit mode, extend this up, EZ. Click on this edge, Ctrl B, scroll on your mouse, and you have a curve. Right click, shade smooth, and now you have something like this. Let's extend this out so we don't get to see it in the camera. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think we should move the camera up a little bit. Click on the camera, G, Z. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, this is good. Now let's change the end frame to 72, so it's a 3-second long animation. What you can do to get the rotation effect that I had in my video is to shift right click here, then shift A, empty, plane axis. Now we are going to parent our camera to this empty. So where's the camera? So click the camera, then click the empty, Ctrl P. Now whenever I move the empty, I'm moving the camera. So what we wanted to do here is to animate the rotation. At frame 72, let's rotate this way. Yeah, something like this, yeah. Insert keyframe. At frame 1, let's rotate the other way. Something like this. Insert keyframe. Let's see what that looks like. See, now we are rotating. Okay, let's make this bigger so we don't get to see it. SX. Yeah, we don't want to see the edge. Okay, cool, that's it. Okay, I think I also added a little bit of rotation. Now, the thing with templates is it's a starting point for you. You could get as creative as you desire to be. For example, I could just leave it this way, or I could add a little bit of rotation to each of them. Frame 30. Let's give this a Z rotation animation, insert keyframe. Then at frame 1, let's rotate it, say 90 degrees, insert another keyframe. So it's going to rotate, yeah. So you can see how more dynamic it is now because it's rotating. So this, you could do the same thing. Start at frame, say 35 because it's offset. Add a keyframe, go to 5, change this to 90. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, then do the same thing here. Preferably, you should do this before you duplicate and everything so that you don't have to repeat your animation, but then it's all fine. Add this here, go to 10, change it to 90. Yeah, now let's see this. You see? Now you have the shot. This took me a very short amount of time compared to how it would have taken me to animate this frame by frame and get the exact vibe I want. This is really good. You could use this in a lot of projects that you might be working on. Personally, I wouldn't recommend you just drag and drop and have it exactly the way the template is. That makes no sense because you are not the only one buying the template. A lot of people own it, so make it yours. So that's for this shot. Let's just call it shot 1. Now we can click out of here, create a new collection and call this shot 2. I need my camera and I need my background. So copy the two of them, come into shot 2, make this disabled and paste. So the camera will probably come with the empty. So just click on the camera, Alt P, clear parent. Okay, for the second shot, it's also pretty easy. It's just a template. Here we go, easy grid, take it, drop it here, and you automatically already have a grid. Oh, we copied the camera and we copied the background, but we didn't copy the product. So let's just grab one of the products, copy, let's paste it in shot 2, Alt P, clear parents. Let's take this one out, we don't need this. Take out the rotation keyframe we added to make sure you have reset everything, and then just bring this out of frame somewhere here. Yeah, let me bring this down. So what you want to do is to replace this spheres or icospheres with your product, and it's super easy to do. Make sure this is selected, come to your modifiers. Easy grid is right here, it's like a modifier on its own. So under the objects, go find your object, click on this eyedropper and select this. Then automatically you already have your object here, but it's too low. You want it to be higher. So an easy way to do that is to go to platform, go to height, either change the height of the platform, this works, or you could change the Z offset. This also works. So this is what I did. Let's just come here, Z offset, bring it up, and we're good. We are Gucci. So where's our camera? Make sure, this is a mistake I always make sure you click this icon here to make sure your new camera is your active camera. So go into the camera view, let me turn on camera to view so I can move around and easily set up the shots. Okay, I don't hate this, it's not bad at all. Yeah, uncheck that, see what this looks like. It's already looking super dynamic. But this is made out of, I don't know what color this is. We can change the color of it. We can even change the actual platform. So come to modifiers, under material, just press this X. So we have a white material. If you want to create a new material, create your material and come find it here. Like this could be a material, but I used whites because of contrast. And I also used a white background because of contrast. So click this and remove the material on it, so it's just all white. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I think we just might need another empty. Let's say we want to focus on this product here, this guy. Shift right click on it, Shift A, add an empty. Let's make it bigger. And then click on the camera, then click on the empty. Ctrl P to parent it. And now we could rotate this empty however we like. If I hit RZ, the empty is just gonna go around. So let's bring it down using the empty. And at frame 1, let's start somewhere here. So shift your Z rotation this way. Yeah, right click, insert single keyframe, go to the end, move it this way, somewhere around here. Right click, insert single keyframe. Yeah, it already looks good, but I don't like the way the animation is interpolating. So let's go to our graph editor. So hit Shift F6, there's a shortcut for your graph editor. Now what you want to do here is to raise this up a bit and raise this down a bit. This is how you get a fast to slow to fast speed ramp. So see, it's already looking better. Starts fast, slows down, goes fast. Very nice. I think we should do that for the last shot too. Where is the camera, active camera? Yeah, let's do that too. So click on the empty, let's do it here, move this up, move this down. And now it's gonna do this cool thing, yeah. This thing is showing here because we reopened the collection. We can just turn it off. Now we have gotten 2 shots down. How long have we spent? You really need to think about how long you would initially spend setting this shot up if you were doing this manually from scratch. So let's jump to shot 3. Create a new collection. Let's call it shot 3. Now what do we need? We need our product. We need our camera because I don't want to reset the camera, change the focal length again and again and again. We need our background, copy, and come here, paste it. This is literally what I did. this is how I was able to create this shot in like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So for this shot, I've made a tutorial for this particular shot before, and you can go check that tutorial. It is pretty long, just for this simple thing that I would do in literally 30 seconds. This is the template right here, motion line. And there are different motions we could get here. Let's click on our products, Alt G to bring it back here. Yeah, if we just drag this motion line and drop it on the product, automatically we already have this, and it's already animated, it's already moving. You just need to make a tiny little adjustment because they are literally touching each other at this point. They are intersecting. So if we don't want that, we could use this other spiral. I've made a tutorial about this before, and you could go check that tutorial. It is long. And I'm doing this in a split second. I'm super excited about this. And I've used this in an actual project before. If you check out this project, I used 2 templates there for these 2 shots. Because a lot of times when you're working on an actual project, you might have like 2 seconds that you don't know what to put there. This is a perfect time to use a template like this. You have like 5 seconds that there's just a gap that you need to fill up with something cool. There are a lot of cool templates here you could try out. And do you know the cool thing? This template comes with a tutorial for every single one of this. So if we go to the modifier, you should be able to see, yeah, watch mini tutorial. There is a link to a YouTube video right here to show you how to use this in case you get lost. Okay, so let's undo that and use this one so we can recreate the shots. So this shot almost looks completely done. As you can see, we already have the animation, but we could just fix a few things. First of all, there are intersections going on here. So let's go to the modifier. Under the motion line, let's change the instance scale. So each of these things are instances, and let's just reduce it until, it depends on what you want. If you want them something like this apart, you could do that. I think this is what I did for my video, but now I'm feeling more like this. I want them to be practically touching. Yeah, something like this. So let's click on the camera, Alt P to clear parents. We don't want it rotating for this one. We could just take out this empty. We don't need it. We can click on this from the top view, R90 to rotate it. Let's see how it's going. Now let's click on this camera, make sure this is active. Don't make the mistake I usually make. Make sure this is active before clicking Ctrl-Alt-0 to align it. So let's move our camera around. Okay, we want it to go the other direction. So let's just do an RZ180 and bring it over here. So it's going this way. Okay, what is our camera doing from the top? We need our camera to be in front, somewhere here. So let's just come here, Ctrl-Alt-0. Yeah, then GY to move it forward. Just fill up the frame with this stuff. Somewhere here seems like a nice middle. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad. Let's get a little bit closer, so something like this. Yeah, you could just align it however you please. I like this. Let's take it this way a bit so we could see it's turning from here. Yeah. Now bring this background up so it covers the shots. And yeah, you pretty much already have your animation. So I don't like how the products are upside down. So let's just slide this to a point where the products are up. Yeah, this is a lot better. So let's just adjust our camera. Okay. As I said, most of these things are very intuitive. You actually wouldn't need to look at the mini tutorial. But if anything confuses you, you can just easily check it. It's right here. Just down here, watch mini tutorial. Now you could change a few other settings. You could change the rotation offset. You could change different rotation. For example, I didn't like the fact that I wasn't seeing my logo. So just shift this and now you can see the logos. Now I think the final thing I did was to add a speed ramp. So the same way you could animate things in your scene, you could also animate every single one of these things. Every single one of these boxes here, you could just hover over it and hit I, and you could add a keyframe and just mess with stuff. For example, this is something I didn't do in the actual video, but let's do that. Let's make this rotation change. So at frame 1, let's say it's somewhere here. Right click, insert single keyframe, and at the last frame, let's say it's somewhere here. Yeah, this just came to my mind right now, and I just want to see how it looks. Yeah, it's cool. You can see now that each individual product is rotating, which is really, really cool. I like it. Now, the last thing I did was to animate the speed. So if I increase the speed from 1 to 5, yeah, too fast. If I reduce it to 0.2, too slow. So let's take it back to 1. Come here. At frame 1, let's change this to, say, 3. I to add a keyframe. And at the last frame, let's change this back to 1. Add a keyframe. So it goes from fast to slow. Click on this. Now we have 2 keyframes here. We have keyframe for the rotation offset and for the speed. So we have 2 here, 2 graphs. I think the first one is for the rotation. Yeah, so let's turn it off. Turn on the second one, A. Yeah. Now let's just make this start faster. So just drag this down and it's going to start up really fast and slow. Yeah, then slow down. Which is exactly what I did. You could make it even faster by dragging this way. Yeah, so we have this effect of speed ramping, just slowing down, which is what I did in the project. And we're done with this shot. Okay, let's change the background. Click on this material, select the black material I have on the product, which is just a reflective material. Let's bring this background down. Yeah. Now let's move to the last shot. You see, we're already moving forward so fast. If I was doing this manually, this video would be 3 hours long. Click the camera, click the background, click the product. Copy, turn this off, create a new collection. Let's call this shot 4. Paste, click on the product, go to modifier and just delete this. So we have our product back. Now the last shot is a quite interesting shot. And I've used this in an actual client project before where I needed to fill up some empty spaces in my concept. I just used this particular template to create something cool. This shot is going to show you how to add your creativity to stuff. So don't just take the template and just use it like that. So let's do that right now. So I think the template I used for this one was this animated array. So let's just take this and drop it on the products. And you see, we already have something like this. Oh, yeah. Make sure you delete the keyframes on the product that you added before. So just A and delete. Now, when we play, nothing happens. So this is just the starting point. Now, there are a lot of things you could adjust here. You could mess with the animate. So it goes from 1 and grows into a circle. You could adjust the scale to make it bigger or smaller. The distance between each product, the counts. You know what that is, like an array modifier. There are a lot of things you could do, and you could use collections. Yeah, that is something very important I should mention. If you don't want to use just one product, let's say we have different versions of this product and you want this effect on it, just add all the different versions into a collection, and instead of using an object, click use collection and then go find the collection. That's it. So let's mess with some of these settings here. Rotation, let's see what that looks like. You see? It's already looking super cool. This could be someone's shot, especially from the top view. I'm sure this will look very nice. Yeah, this is so cool. I'm getting distracted. Okay, let's see what this looks. Okay, this is also cool. Now I think this is what we should animate. So we have it here. Let's rotate it RX90. So we are seeing it from the front. Cool. Now we want it to twist. So at the first frame, say -50, add a keyframe, right click, insert single keyframe. Then at the last frame, 72, change it to 50. So it goes the other way. And right click, insert single keyframe. Now let's see what that looks like. You see, it looks cool. But we want to add our speed ramp thing to it. So let's take this up. Click this, raise this up here, bring this down here. This is like a cool trick you could use a million times. So you see, it looks cool already. Now what else can we do? We can make it grow. So we could mess with this animate thing. At the last frame, we want it to be complete. So set this to 5. You can hit I to add a keyframe. Go to the first frame. I want this to reduce to, just mess with this, so they are not intersecting, something like this. Yeah. Oh, I think they are still intersecting, so let's add some distance between them. So increase the distance. Then reduce this. Cool. Something like this. We want something like this. So right click and replace keyframe. Now you can see it closes up, but we don't want it to close up slowly. We want it to close up with the same interpolation we have for the rotation. So make this first one invisible. Click on the second one, A, full stop, and we have this. And we could also do this. So this starts fast. Yeah. We are making changes. Let's see what happens if we do this to make it slow down. Ooh, this is nice. But I don't like the fact that it's here. Let's raise it up somewhere here. Yeah, I think this is cool. Okay, let's reduce the distance a bit. Oh, nice. Let's reduce it even more. Oh, this is very nice. So you can just make minor adjustments to fit exactly what you would want. Cool. Let me set up the camera. Make sure this is the active one. Then come to the front, Ctrl+Alt+0. Now we have this. GY to go backwards a bit. Cool. Now we have this. Let's bring this down. Let's bring it down even further and extend this edge up. Okay, now that we have something like this, one thing we could change would be the Z offset. So we could stretch this out this way or this way. What way should we stretch it? Since we are coming down this way, let's stretch it this way. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it will be even closer to the camera because it's moving forward. Okay, let's bring this camera back a little bit. Now this looks cool, but we could make it even cooler. So click on this, Shift D, Y to duplicate it and take it back. Now S to scale. Okay, let's bring this back a bit. Then repeat that step, Shift D, Y. This is just making it interesting. S to scale. Let's add one more, Shift D, Y. And S to scale. So the last one should be coming out of the frame. Yeah. You see, it already looks really cool. And this could be your shot. This could be your shot. Let's animate the camera. I don't think I did this in the previous video. So let's take it from here, animate the Y location, and at the end, let's bring it in somewhere here. And let's do the same interpolation here. So it moves the same way. Yeah, look at our camera. Yeah, they all move the same way. So this is how it looks from here. You could get really cool angles. Oh, this is a very cool angle. What? This looks very nice. So the creativity is up to you. You could play with it however you want. If I put the camera over here, let's put the camera here. Ooh, we already have a very interesting looking angle. Well, let's take it back. Yeah, so the last thing I want to do is to offset these things so they don't happen at the same time. Even though this looks cool, but in my example video, I did that. So take it to frame 1, click on this big one. Let's change the animate to something like this. So it starts from here, replace keyframe, do the same thing here at frame 1, bring it back, replace keyframe, do the same thing here at frame 1, bring it back, replace keyframe. That way they don't start at the same time. Yeah, they have different speeds. It's just a little tiny thing that makes it more interesting. So let's see how that looks here. Ooh, this looks very nice. So you could still experiment with this as much as you want. There are different angles you could try out. You could mess with a lot of different settings. And the cool thing is that you might discover some things that you might not know was possible when you do something like this. Yeah, for lighting, you could just find any interior HDRI light from polyhaven.com. So go to world, color, environment, texture, open, then find something you like. So let's go to the rendered view. Oh, we're in EV, cycles, change this. Yeah, so this is the HDRI I picked, but the light is facing the wrong direction. Let's go to shading, objects, change it to world, Click on this and hit Ctrl T. Change this back to object, go to layout. Now, when we go to world and vector, we could mess with the rotation of our HDRI. So just make sure the light is facing the products. So this is the only lighting I used for this project. I didn't add any other lights because it was quick. Let's change this to 3. Voila. We already have something nice. So you could scale this down to make it smaller if you want, if this is the look you want. If you want them to feel like they are touching each other, this could be cool. Ooh, this is so cool. Yeah. So it depends on you, whatever works best for you. I think I like the spread out look. Yeah, this is a very cool looking shot. So we have shot 1, which is this. I think we are way above our product. So let's take this up so we can see the bottom of the product. Yeah. Again, you could just turn this off and hide them. It's all good. Yeah. You could just bring this down so it lines up here. Perfect. Now that's shot 1 already done, fully done, lighting and everything. Shot 2, let's see what that looks like. Where is our camera? Shot 2 already done. What about shot 3? This is a lot less than an hour. Shot 3 already done. You can see the cool speed ramping. How about shot 4? Change the camera. So I don't like the way the background looks, so let's go to material and change this to a new material and increase the roughness. Also come to specular and reduce it so it's darker. Yeah. This is the vibe I want. So this is pretty much it. In less than an hour, you have a full 10 seconds animation you could post everywhere. So this is a little trick that I've been using for a while to speed up my projects. So I don't use this for every single part of my project, but I use it for some specific shots that would look interesting. Before I created this tutorial, I made sure I reached out to Clever Poly, who is the creator of these templates, and I make sure he gave me a good deal for my audience. So either you're a professional that wants to speed up their work, or you're a beginner that wants to look like you're not a beginner, you want to look like a pro. This is the quickest way to do it in product animation. Now, when you click the first link in the description, it takes you here. Click on buy now, and then because you have a promo code, you could just add SAV10 here and apply. Immediately you get 10% deducted from the full price. The coolest thing about this template is that it gets updated over time. So when I first started using it, they were not up to 40 templates, but today they are more than 40. So there are some new ones that were added, more than 10 new templates that you could play with. You can see every single template has a sample on the website. Every single template has a mini tutorial you could watch. I think this is a new one. Yeah, this is cool. Why didn't I have this before? Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. Yeah, this would be really cool for a shoe ad. Cloth on path, I don't think I've seen this before because I know I use this product. Yeah, swirls, sprays, a lot of cool things that will just elevate your work. Now, having access to this kind of template is super great. In fact, there are some real-time water assets he has here. But if you want to learn how to dunk any product into a tank of water in Blender using fluid simulation, watch this video here.